Hello, you wonderful ladies and gentlemen of the YouTubes. Yes, the title you just clicked on is accurate. You guys know, if you've been watching my channel for any time now, that I'm a pretty big Alan and Heath fanboy, until here just recently. I'm a little frustrated with what's going on. So I'm actually on the way to the church campus now to take care of some of that. But let me get outside and get in the car, and I will fill you guys in a little more on what's actually going on. Okay, so in short, the week that I arrived home from the trip to Owasso to pick up that PA system and drive it home, I got home on Monday or Tuesday, and Wednesday I went into our worship center to power up everything, and I got nothing. All it would tell me is that it could not find main board, which in the immediate moment meant nothing for me. However, through contacting Alan Heath UK and some further troubleshooting, discovered that the audio engine had failed. They told me there was nothing they could do for me over the phone. I needed to contact the US distributor, so I contacted AMS, who is the national distributor for Alan and Heath for the United States, and that was a whole headache in and of itself, and took a couple of weeks to actually get the information I needed from them. Finally got an RMA number, contacted Nomad Sound in Austin, Texas, which is the closest service center to me for Allen and Heath. Allen and Heath won't pay for shipping either way, so I had to drive it 4.5 hours to them. Yes, for those of you unfamiliar with Texas, we do not measure distance in miles here, we measure it in time. That's how big the state is. Drove 4.5 hours to Austin, dropped it off, drove 4.5 hours back in the same day, and finally got an update earlier in the week that we're still looking at 2 to 4 weeks minimum before we get our board back because of parts. And so I am arriving at the church campus now. We're going to roll in here and just check out the equipment I ordered. Sorry about that last clip and all the road noise. I didn't realize that my mic had disconnected here. So I'm sure you're wondering, equipment? What equipment? You ordered equipment? Unfortunately, yes. That is because this is not my Avantis. That is actually 6.5 weeks and $3,500 worth of rental that has obliterated my equipment and repair budget for the entire year that we just started. So we determined earlier in the week, look, we can either keep dumping $1,000 every couple of weeks into equipment that isn't ours and we're never going to own, or we can just bite the bullet, spend a few thousand more, and get something that we can own and use in a refresh of another part of our campus later on after the fact. So I ordered this bad boy right here. If you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you know that I have an SQ5 in our broadcast booth, and it's been excellent for us. It's a great board. The preamps sound awesome. The built-in effects are really good for what they are. And it's got a lot of functionality that is really, really useful in a volunteer environment. I can lock down layers and things that people don't need to be in. I can lock down functions. You can do a lot of that on the Avantis as well, but you can't lock people out of layers, which is a really, really neat feature that the SQ series has. So I've done a lot of work on the SQ5 in our broadcast booth as well. If you saw the video from North Orange Baptist, you saw at the end of that that they have an SQ7 at front of house that I've been doing a lot of work on recently. And so I love this series. It functions a lot like the CQ series as well, just in operation and navigation. So if you get the chance to mess with any of those, the rack-mounted versions of the new CQ series operates very similarly. But in the meantime, I'm going to throw this in at front of house. Now, this just came in today, so I want to comb through it and just make sure everything's functioning as intended. But unfortunately, the Dante card that I ordered with it did not come in today. So that will be in Monday, and I will get this all put together and start building it out and get it at front of house. here's the thing that's kind of up in the air, and we can absolutely get around it. It's just going to depend on once I get to patching. The way I have our Avantis set up at front of house is it's double patched. So example, it's 1 through 25, and then I drop down to channel 33, and I patch 33 down as 1 through 25 again. What this does is it allows me to have a series of channels that are patched through specifically for front of house. Then I can also have a second bank of channels that only do in-ear monitors. This has been awesome for our musicians on stage as well as front of house, because now I can make changes to front of house without it affecting their ears, and I can make their ears sound exactly the way they want without it affecting anything in front of house. Really nice feature. However, it means I might have to shrink a little bit of my channel count going into this SQ6 for a little while. The SQ6 is a 48 channel console, and I'm using a 4816 backstage, so that's 48 inputs, and we're not using all of those, but I also have some at front of house, and I have some auxiliary stuff that comes into the Avantis. So I'll just have to sit down and trim out all the fat, so to speak, for the sake of the SQ6. Now, the question in your mind is probably the same as mine, and that is, why did this happen? What caused the audio engine in our Avantis to fail? I don't have a straight answer for that. I do have the hypothesis that the guys at Nomad gave me, and that is that static electricity from one end or the other, somewhere in the rack, is building up on the Cat6 cable that's running from the stage box to the board at front of house, the Avantis. And it is discharging into the network card on the Avantis, and it's frying the network card and the audio engine. That has not been confirmed by Alan and Heath. That is the working hypothesis that the service center at Nomad and Alan and Heath are discussing. They've not published anything yet that I've seen, and I've not been given a straight answer, but Alan and Heath told Nomad to replace the main board in our console. So that part is on order. I will keep you guys updated on this process. It's pretty frustrating, I gotta be honest with you, because I had to scramble to even find an Avantis close to us that I could go get as a rental. And then when I finally got one, you know, it's $500 a week to rent this thing. Like I said, I will keep you guys updated on all of that. And any updates I get in the meantime. I'll also probably film a short video on Monday about setting up the SQ6 and just getting it ready to rock and roll for next Sunday. All of that said, if this is the kind of content you're into and you enjoy walking through this stuff with me as I problem solve, you know, the issues we run into in worship and production ministries, I encourage you to like and subscribe if you haven't. Share this with your friends, and help me get this content out there. It would mean a lot to me. We just reached 100 subscribers, so thank you for that. It might seem like such a small thing, but for just having started this a couple of months ago, it's a pretty big deal for me. So thank you guys for doing that, for helping me get there. And, you know, like I said, help me get this out there to those that need it. We hope that this content blesses you, blesses a ministry somewhere in some way. Yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on here, and I'll see you real soon.